So in today's video we're going to show you how to go from this to this. Hello everyone, welcome to another video for the channel and also on the ST. So something that's always bugged me with this car since sort of really having it, but also having another one of these and seeing pictures of the engine bay, and I have done stuff to the engine bay, but one thing that is such an eyesore on these is all the wires, the wiring loom. So my idea is to try and do it myself, which, you know, if you follow my channel, I don't really get massively involved with doing this sort of side of thing. But, you know, I had a little boost from watching the video from Mend It, Mod It, and after seeing that, I was a bit like, no, I don't think I can do that. But my plan is, I'm going to see if I can try and do it without jacking the car up, because there are probably others out there like myself who, you know, generally don't get my hands dirty with the car, apart from washing it. But I don't really go under the car that much, and I don't really mess around with the engine. So to actually cut, sort of take apart, mess around with the wires, you know, I'm not too sure if I do trust myself, but I'm going to have a go anyway. And the plan is, yes, I don't want to jack the car up. I'm going to see if I can tuck it in some way, make it look neater, so that the inlet is left exposed and the rocker cover as well, just so it has a cleaner, neater look. Now, I haven't got the best of equipment, so, you know, I have got like a Stanley knife, scissors to try and cut this open, see what I can do. You know, I've got screwdrivers and stuff like that. But then the other two things that I've bought is I've got some electrical tape, which is because of this main kind of fuse that's in here. There is exposed like metal, so use some electrical tape. And then I've got this and then I've got this like high temp tape as well, so that'll go sort of around all the wires after I've cut it out of this plastic hosing. And then I did get some plastic hosing just to, you know, try and neaten it up at the end. So without further ado, I'm not going to talk, I'm just going to try and get on with it and see if it works. So the stage I'm at now is I've just done like a little bit of a quick test fit layout, and I've just reconnected the ignition. Don't even know what that is exactly. But yes, I've reconnected that one. Connected the loom back together here. What I'm going to do is, while I've still got the battery disconnected, I'm just going to tape up this exposed metal from the fuse, which again is one of the things that I saw Mend It, Mod It did. So I'm going to do the same, and then what I'm going to do is I just want to start the car up and just test it as it is. Right, so I've just connected the battery, so everything's plugged in like I said, so I'm just going to go and test the car out first. Cool, okay, so it started. So let's show you what I've actually done up to now. Just start from left to right. So my plan is to do something a little bit differently. Rather than having to mess around with this cable, I'm hoping, after I've disconnected it a little bit lower down, that basically I can just pull this, as you can see, over, and that's not really me applying any pressure. Look, there's just a little bit with my finger. I should be able to run that around the, by the side of the mount along here. And then the same as what's been done with other cars. Basically that's the ignition, all the wiring, which I have tucked in underneath the throttle body. Don't think the camera picks it up, but further down there it's actually running underneath, if you can see, the throttle body. So obviously this will all need taping up, but the majority of the wires are there. And then the one that had like a plug on it, I'm not too sure if to run it by the side of here or here. Now, without actually asking someone, I don't know if there's a safer or better option for doing it, I've got to admit. So maybe before I do it, I might just check before I do the rest of the video. But yeah, and then obviously I can just tie it, hopefully, you know, somewhere sort of up there maybe. Oh, actually I can see there's a bracket back here, so hopefully I can cable tie to that. Once I've taped it all up, then yeah, hopefully it should be good to go. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take out this headlight just so I can get in and make sure that I cable tie this one safely. I've just got more access that way. Right, so it's time to start putting some of this heat tape stuff for the wires. I'll pop a link in the description on Amazon where I got this from. I might actually just take this just off. It might give me that little bit of extra space. Is I'm going to see if I can basically run that down there, push that out of the way. That seems to fit down there. So that's currently going like just above the engine mount. Looks like it's really, I can get it to run on top of the engine mount. What I just wanted to do is, even though I've wrapped up the fuse, like I was saying, just to make sure obviously the exposed wires are safe, I'm just going to use some of the old chunky sort of this plastic stuff. So I'm just gonna, just to see if I can just protect it that little bit more, I just thought use up this one while I've got it, because I've not got anything that's large. I don't know if this is going to quite fit. Might not look great, but I think it's worked. Yeah, there we go. So just to keep it that extra little bit protected. it's all plugged in. They're all back in. That's back in. That's cable tied. Everything seems to be in. So I'm going to start the car and hopefully it works. She lives! We are done. And it is looking awesome. It looks so much cleaner. Now, you might notice that everything's looking a little bit more shinier and cleaner than when the video started. That's because I did give the engine a clean, and I dressed it as well yesterday. I let it soak in. I've just buffed it, so it's looking all nice and shiny, all the plastics. But how much of a cleaner look now is that? It looks so much better having the inlet just completely sort of on show now. There's no horrible wires covering the top. It makes it so much easier to clean this now as well. So there's all the cables which have been wrapped and tied down like as best as I could and as safely as I feel they could be as well. But now that leaves the rocker cover pretty much completely open, which is just so much nicer to see that. I mean, I have got the power steering fluid original hose here, which actually I would like to replace for a nice silicone one eventually. Now, obviously in the very far future, if I do move this, then that will also give it a cleaner look by removing this and putting that over there, because obviously that's what a lot of people do. But I'm not looking to spend the money on doing that just yet, because it doesn't really matter to me. But I mean, honestly, what do you think? I think I've done a really good job. I'm really proud of myself to actually have done this, because, you know, this isn't something that I would normally do, is mess around with kind of wiring, like these sort of, I don't know what you would really call it, but not the mechanical side of things. But, you know, yeah, I'm not massively hands-on with stuff like this, but I took the inspiration from Mend It Mod It, obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning. And also I would like to do a shout out as well for Daniel Cole, so a big thank you to him. He's someone that I've been speaking to on Facebook. Basically, he gave me the idea when I was doing the wire tuck, or talking to him about it, is compared to the other YouTubers who, when they have done the wire tuck, they've had to go underneath the car and undo the wiring from the alternator. So to sort of, I suppose this is a good time now to show everything closer. So I haven't had to do that. So if you can see down there, that's as far as I've had to cut the wires back. And this is the one that's usually set a little bit lower, and it usually goes underneath the engine mount. I've been able to run it above the engine mount, and then it just goes sort of along here, and it goes, well, basically, it's hard to show you, but basically that cable runs along here, and then it comes out. There you go, and then that's where it comes out back to its original position. And by doing that, I've not had to, it's made it a lot easier. I haven't had to mess with jacking the car up, and like I said to other people, if you don't feel safe getting under the car and doing it that way, this is a way that Daniel Cole showed and stated to me how he did his. So, you know, a big thank you for him for sharing that bit of information and his experience with doing this, because it allowed me to do it and hopefully show everyone that you can do this yourself by just purely working from the engine bay, not having to get under the car. So that was a big bonus, and just making it slightly easier to do this wire tuck. But I am really happy with it. So yeah, I suppose just a quick showing then of how everything does sit. So as I mentioned, that main fuse is running from there, which obviously originally went over the top underneath that plastic piece here, and it ran along as I've shown. That one was really easy. Obviously all these wires were originally inside, and they were connected via this. But what was really good was they were long enough, so that was originally just running over here, that could just go along to there. And it is, if you can see it well enough, it is cable tied out of the way there, so it's not anywhere near the heat shield, sort of out the way of everything else. And that now runs through this little breather pipe underneath the HT leads, and then basically from there it runs just underneath the throttle body. And that also is where the wires come for all of these as well, which, as I said, I've tried to sort of make as neat as possible. One thing I would like to do actually is that even though I've cleaned it up, I might just get some sticky stuff remover and remove that little label off. Is it called the fuel rail? I think I've got that right. But that looks so much nicer and cleaner now having it like that. But honestly, I'm so happy with that. It's going to look awesome when I've done a few more little bits to this engine bay. Looking to get new caps, because even though these aren't too bad, they're a little bit rough. The lacquer that I've used has gone and they're not as glossy as they once were. The throttle body as well has actually seen slightly better days. I have given it a clean, and this as well is starting to flake. So basically one of the things I'm looking to do in a future video, hopefully before Ford Fair, is to get new caps, and for the brakes as well. So that one, a professionally done dipstick, throttle body to be professionally done, and a new washer sort of bottle cap as well. But then at the same time, I'm looking to get my spare rocker cover, which I had sprayed myself, but unfortunately it got a bit messed up. So rather than spending all the money and time again, I'm actually going to look and having it done professional. So to have a nice bit of contrast against the black inlet is I'm going to have the gold rocker cover. I'm going to keep the black oil cap and the black sort of leads here and a few of the black details, just so it has a nice bit of contrast with the black and gold theme that I'm going for. But yeah, you know, please like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please let me know in the comments below, you know, what you think of the way I have done this compared to the other YouTubers. Hopefully I made it a little bit more easier with the main sort of fuse cable by hiding that away. But as a whole, I am really happy with how this has turned out. I think it looks so much cleaner, it looks smart. Now it has had a nice clean and dress. I'm just super happy with it. I'm going to have to take some pictures for Instagram, I am sure. So thanks everyone for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.